Sue Bird won 4 WNBA championships. She was an All-Star 13 times, one of the more decorated basketball players in history, and also a 5-time Olympic gold medalist. Just named USA Basketball Women's National Team Managing Director. That's a hell of a title there. Is that on your business card? And what exactly does that mean, Sue?
Sue Bird, the newly appointed managing director of Team USA Basketball, just had what can only be described as a full-on superfan moment. And no, it wasn't about a Grammy or Taylor Swift. It was all about Caitlin Clark, the electrifying long-range shooter taking the WNBA by storm. Bird didn't just show respect, she practically delivered a love letter to Clark's game. If there were an MVP for admiration, Sue would be winning by a landslide. So what exactly did she say that has the entire sports world buzzing? And did she just drop a subtle hint about a certain international tournament in 2028?
Managing director, it's basically what Grant Hill did for the men's team. So like a GM, pick the coach, pick the players, and then win some gold medals.
Caitlin Clark didn't just receive a compliment, she was basketball knighted. But instead of a sword and throne, she earned something even more rare. The Sue Bird seal of approval. Sue doesn't need a crown, her resume speaks for itself, stacked. With WNBA championships, Olympic gold medals, and a presence so commanding she could silence a room with a single raised eyebrow. We're talking about the general of generals, the queen of composure, a maestro who conducted championship runs like a symphony. And now, even she is standing in awe of Caitlin Clark. It's not just admiration, it's a moment that feels like a true passing of the torch, and that torch is blazing. If you're hyped about the possibility of Caitlin Clark lighting it up at the Los Angeles 2028 Olympics, drop a CC gold medal in the comments, let's go.
Yeah.
Fever, as you mentioned, took on Brazil back in Iowa. Caitlin's logo shot. I mean, she outdid she logoed the logo. Now they got to put a new logo down.
You guys, I think one of the things I love about Caitlin the most is her understanding and like willingness to like meet the moment and like do the thing that she knows everyone wants her to do.
She knows what the people...
When Sue Bird speaks, the basketball world doesn't just listen, it rewinds the tape, studies every word, and takes notes. So when she spoke about Caitlin Clark, it wasn't a simple, she's talented, it was, she is the moment. Sue delivered. A full-throttle statement of admiration that felt less like praise and more like prophecy. This wasn't casual flattery. It was a declaration, the kind that makes you stop and realize we're witnessing the rise of something truly...
I mean, I couldn't agree more. She knows it, and so does everybody else. The ratings for this game were 1.28 million. The game was on ESPN. It peaked at 1.6, and she only played like 18 minutes. So the Caitlin Clark effect is back. Not seeing her play since the fall. I'm sure everybody was hyped.
Let's be clear, Sue Bird is not easily impressed. This is a woman who turned UConn into a dynasty, dismantled defenses with surgical precision, probably while texting mid-crossover, and collected 5 Olympic gold medals like souvenirs. She's mastered the balance of leadership and laser-guided execution, faced off against legends, and mentored the stars of tomorrow. She's seen the hype come and go. So when Sue Bird looks at Caitlin Clark and says, "This is different," you don't. Just listen, you believe her. Not because you want to, but because the truth of it hits you straight in the bones.
And of course, there was an adorable moment where basically all the Brazilian players were asking for her autograph and trying to take pictures. There's also a really cute moment where, I think in their shoot-around, they tried to hit a shot from that logo.
When Sue Bird endorsed Caitlin Clark, it wasn't subtle. It was like Da Vinci walking into a gallery, spotting a high school painting and saying, "Frame this." It was Serena Williams pausing mid-serve to watch a junior match and giving a knowing nod. This wasn't about potential, it was a full-fledged recognition of greatness. That kind of acknowledgement is currency in the world of sports. It buys legacy, influence, and a credibility you can't earn from highlight reels alone. Now, let's add a layer of Olympic tension. We all remember the shock of Caitlin Clark being left off the 2024 roster, a move that left fans and analysts alike scratching their heads. Under Cheryl Reeves' leadership, that decision sparked outrage and disbelief. But now, Sue Bird is the one calling the shots. And based on her recent comments, she doesn't sound like someone planning to leave Clark off the next Olympic team sheet.
I'd rather watch paint dry. I'd rather watch dirt just be moved around because Caitlin Clark's not on the team. If she's there at the appointment TV, you people, whoever did this, honestly, hey, take your brain, put it in a museum, and study it for how dumb you are.
Sue Bird's words weren't just praise, they were breadcrumbs, and they led straight to Los Angeles 2028. The message was unmistakable. Caitlin Clark isn't just a rising star, she's part of the blueprint. A blueprint built for gold medals, dominance on the world stage, and a new era of Team USA basketball. Sue Bird is rebuilding this team with purpose and precision, and it's clear that in her vision, Caitlin Clark isn't on the sideline as she's front and center.
It was good to see her back in action. The Fever, that's their second preseason game. They got a lot of talent. It's like everybody. It's about piecing it together. Now, where they have a leg up on, a team like Dallas, where we say starting from scratch, is they have a lot of vets. So you're bringing in DeWanna Bonner and Natasha Howard. I think Sophie Cunningham has already made her presence felt. So it'll be interesting to see how they move along.
Sue Bird's endorsement didn't just land, it detonated. Social media erupted with reactions from fans, fellow athletes, and broadcasters alike. People who had been lukewarm or even skeptical about Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise were suddenly forced to face the truth. She's not a passing trend, she's the future. And with one powerful mic drop moment, Sue Bird didn't just acknowledge that she stamped it in bold, permanent ink.
Kelsey Mitchell's balling, Caitlin continuing to impress, and she's going to break records nonstop for the next couple of years. Yeah, it's just going to be a constant record break.
It didn't go unnoticed that while some voices within the WNBA establishment continue to downplay or critique Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise, Sue Bird chose a different path, the high road, and arguably the right one. In a league where not everyone is eager to embrace the new era, Sue's decision to celebrate Clark's talent rather than resist it is a masterclass in leadership. It's the kind of move that doesn't just support a player, it helps shape the future of the game.
So that takes us to Indiana, which I think everyone agrees right now has gone from, a team that made the playoffs last year, lost in the first round. They were building all these young pieces, of course, Caitlin Clark, to now an immediate contender with all the moves that they've made.
That's the true power of Sue Bird's message. It wasn't just about Caitlin Clark's shooting range or her market appeal. It was a deeper recognition that the game is evolving, that the next chapter belongs to players like Clark, and that both the WNBA and USA basketball will be stronger if they choose to embrace that evolution. In one bold move, Sue Bird shifted the conversation from skepticism to celebration. She didn't just validate Caitlin Clark, she lit the path forward toward a future where talent, not politics, takes the lead. So if you're still questioning whether Caitlin Clark belongs on the world's biggest stage, you might want to listen to the most decorated woman to ever play the game. She's already made the call.
I think Natasha Howard certainly stands out. I loved playing with Tosh.
But you cannot say enough.
I cannot say enough about Tosh. I really enjoyed playing with her. I think she really she's just this glue player that doesn't get enough shine for what she does, because a lot of what she does doesn't show up in the box score, but she just is always in the right place at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And a player like that, I think complements what Indiana is building.
If anyone is qualified to recognize brilliance, it's Sue Bird. She's been reading basketball plays the way others read bedtime stories, starting when she was barely tall enough to snatch cookies from the top shelf. While most kids were still learning the basics of offense and defense, Sue was already decoding defensive schemes and memorizing help side rotations. She didn't just play the game, she dissected it, refined it, and executed it with the precision of a scientist. So when Sue Bird says Caitlin Clark has it, you better believe it's rarer than a solar eclipse during the finals. This isn't a Flash-in-the-pan moment Sue's endorsement means Caitlyn is the real deal, a franchise cornerstone capable of dropping buckets while orbiting Earth with a deflated ball and still landing on SportsCenter's top 10.
Obviously, through trade, added Sophie Cunningham, a player that, I would say a 3-and-D type player who has, been to the finals, so has that playoff experience. She's also just tough. She's mentally tough. She's physically tough. She brings an edge to them. And then last but not least, they added Dewana Bonner, which really I think is the one that for most people took it to another level. So now you're like, oh, they're a contender.
Sue Bird knows a thing or two about being the face of a franchise. She's carried expectations so heavy they could turn your spine into spaghetti. She's played through media storms, intense scrutiny, and grueling matchups, all while making it look as effortless as a layup drill. That kind of resilience doesn't come from a marketing campaign. It's forged in the fire, honed by surviving the grind and still showing up better, sharper, and stronger each time. So when Sue Bird lifts up Caitlin Clark, she's not just praising a highlight machine, she's endorsing someone built to weather the storm and shine through it.